Hello, everyone, and welcome to the match preview between Manchester United and Chelsea. Guys, how you all doing? I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the stream, everyone. I hope everyone is doing good, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Of course, it is only a day. Was it a couple of days to the game against Chelsea, which is deemed a must-win game now for Manchester United, of course. We have to be, guys, ready for this game. We have to be prepared for this game. And we have to make sure that we don't lose this game. And that's the most important thing, guys, not to lose this game. Hell no, we don't want to lose this game because you know what? You know what the rumblings is going to be like, isn't it? If we do lose this game, there's going to be far more, toxicity within the football club and stuff like that. So let's hope that we can get this game going. Let's hope we can get a win today. Let's hope that we pick the right lineup. Most importantly, we pick the right lineup. We pick the right team, the team that is best prepared to win this game, guys. And no more shoehorning players into certain positions. No more Bruno in the midfield. No more of that, guys. In my personal opinion, I would drop Bruno for this game, considering what he done after the game against Man City, after what he said against the game against Man City. I don't think that should be let slide. I don't think that should be allowed. I think that, what discipline needs to be upholded here. It should be inputted here in regards to, slagging off a young player like Lenny Yoro, for example. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. So, yeah, look, you know what? It is a massive game. And I actually think that Man United are going to do it. I think Man United are going to win this game. I really do feel that. I know, and I've been saying that for all season, haven't I? You know what I mean? Sound like a broken record, but I think we will. There is my lineup, what I would choose. That's what I would choose. It is what I want Ruben Amorim to pick, but I don't think he will pick something along those lines. My biggest question about the team would be obviously the right wing back position. Would I play Mazraoui or would I play Amad Diallo? Considering that we are at home, I would play Diallo because I want us to be more of an attacking threat on that right-hand side. And I think that if we can keep the ball up the field and Amad Diallo can run those channels a lot more effectively than Mazraoui would, if you know what I mean. Although Mazraoui is very good, it was a toss-up between Yoro and Mazraoui. I would have played obviously Mazraoui in the centre-back position, but I think I would play Lenny Yoro now. I think Lenny Yoro's earned his corn. He's warranted that, of course, guys, absolutely. And great. And that is the team basically I'll go for. Not much there, apart from obviously, again, Senina Men should be playing in that team. I've been saying it for a long time. Senina Men should be playing. Senina Men, I believe, will start this game. I may be wrong, but I believe he will start this game. I think that it's very important that we start playing him now. I think it's very important that we start moving in regards to the new goalkeeper and building for a future rather than just turning the same old page, going back to the same chapters that we've always had. I think it's very important now that we move on from that. Will Ruben Amorim do it? I don't know. I really don't know. He should. But the one thing about Ruben Amorim, what I've noticed is he's very, very cautious about playing certain players. When he doesn't believe that they're ready, he does give them a little bit of time. But I don't think there's necessary. I don't think it's necessary to be waiting to play him. I think you just need to give him his debut now and just hope he does well, and that's what we do. Because at the end of the day, look, our goalkeepers right now, in regards to Bayindir and Heaton, they're not going to do much better. So we might as well just build for the future and do that, of course, guys. Dorgu will be playing on the left again for me. I will play Casemiro for this game alongside Kobe Mainoo. That's a far more balanced midfield, in my opinion. And I will be dropping Fernandes for this game with Xerxes coming in there with Mbeumo and Sesko. Now, we all know that probably won't happen. We all know that probably won't be the case. It probably will be Fernandes. Bro, Fernandes won't have the book thrown at him. He won't be punished. So, what I would say is that, it'd be something around those lines. I believe that we should be showing punishment to players that speak out in the media against certain players and the manager and stuff like that. It's putting the club into disrepute, isn't it, at the end of the day, guys, absolutely. Absolutely, guys. So, thank you, everyone, for joining me. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the stream, guys. I hope you're all blessed. Hope everyone is doing good. Big up, RJ. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Peace and bless everyone. Good to see you. Of course, Ruben needs to start. Bruno is one of the 10s, or bench him and Heaven in Overshaw. Or bench him and Heaven over Shaw. Yeah, this is exactly what I picked on the team, RJ. Look at my team there. I picked Aiden Heaven. Aiden Heaven is much more athletic at the moment than Luke Shaw. He's much more of a quick player. And I think he's actually better suited now to be starting for Manchester United, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, he's much more suited now. guys. And what I would say is that we need to be looking to the future. We need to be looking what's the next line of players coming through at Man United. And last season, Aiden Heaven had a fantastic season, in my opinion. He had a brilliant season, in my opinion. And I feel like we need to carry that on. We need to carry that on, because turning the page, going back and actually, persisting with Luke Shaw is just not the way forward. And it's going to cost Ruben Amorim. And this is what we're talking about. It's going to cost Ruben Amorim. It's going to cost him his job. There's two positions, right? The left side is centre-back and the midfield position, which is Bruno Fernandes usually playing in. Now, if I see Bruno Fernandes playing in that midfield, I think many of us share the same sentiment here. I think we will be very, very upset, if I'm being honest. Absolutely. This match could be the spark. Absolutely. Let's hope so. We need to win these games, guys. These are the type of games that we need to win. There's no more excuses now. We need to start winning football matches. No more of this settling down period and things like that. We need to start winning football matches, guys. Good afternoon, Sal. If Amorim plays players on the right position, we will win. Let's hope so. Ephraim, Sal, is Cunha back? Cunha is not back. Cunha, Manchester United will not risk Cunha for this game. I know that we want Cunha back. Cunha is so important to Man United. Cunha could quite possibly be on the bench, but rumours circulating around Man United is that they're not going to risk Cunha for this game, or given his hamstring injury. Good evening, Ellen. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Really good to see you. Big up, Stephen. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you. Big up, Danny B. How's it going, my friend? Good to see you again. Hope you're blessed, guys. Joe, what's going on, my friend? Think of the same lineup, mate. Similar, it is give and take. But ultimately, the overriding thing I want is I don't want to see Bruno in that midfield. I don't want to see him in that midfield. I want to see either he's a number 10 or nothing. I personally believe he should be dropped. I don't know how you guys feel, but I personally believe he should be dropped. I think what he did the other day was unacceptable, and it should not be accepted at Manchester United, in my humblest of opinions, guys. Absolutely not. He's not ready yet, Danny B. He's ready, but he's not match fit. And but the thing with the hamstring injury, it's a tough one. Ryan Giggs obviously had a big hamstring injury when he was younger, and it really harmed his career, so to speak. I mean, obviously he became a legend, but in the early days, his hamstring was a big problem. And there are different categories in regards to hamstring injuries. And if it's not healed properly, the category can get higher. And I think with Acuna at the moment, he hasn't got a bad hamstring injury. He's got a little nick, which obviously if he plays and it tears even more, it's going to be a problem. So obviously they got to make sure he's 100% ready. Look, Cunha is so important to this team already. Cunha is so important to this team. Cunha brings the team forward, in my opinion. And we really need to get into the vibe now. We really need to get into the groove, and we really need to start winning football matches. Thankfully, we got the likes of Xerxes in the team that can come in the team and do a good job. Thankfully, Is Dalot injured? Yes, he's still injured, Ellen. He's still injured. I wouldn't play him anyway, to be honest with you. But he is still injured. Yeah, he's still injured. He's not fit. Don't bring Cunha back so quick, rather. Brentford game, big up RJ. We just need to stop Palmer and Pedro, in my opinion. Yeah, they're tough. They're very dangerous players. But I want us to take a leaf out of Bayern Munich's book. Bayern Munich done very well against Chelsea yesterday. I like the way that Bayern Munich just completely dismantled Chelsea like they were nothing. And I think that we have to be careful with this. We have to be careful that Chelsea will be coming into this game wanting to prove a point. So we got to be ready for them, and we got to make sure we've had a full week's rest, guys. We've had a full week's rest, so we should be ready for this game. There's no excuses, of course. Rasta say Bruno will guaranteed be in. I know he shouldn't be. Sal, good evening, Gray. How you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well. That's a great line, but I bet we have Bloody Shaw and Bruno starting. If Amorim consistently does this, then questions have to be asked about him. Yeah, look, he had all the answers for his questions on Sunday when we lost to Man City, right? He had all the questions to his answers, right? That lineup is proven to foul, right? And that's what it is. It's proven to foul. So what's the point of doing it again and again and again? He's got to change it now. And I know that if we play that lineup against Chelsea and we lose, I'm done. I'm done, because at the end of the day, that shows me that he's not willing to adapt. He's not willing to learn that this lineup is not the one. Bruno Fernandes is not a central midfielder. Luke Shaw is finished as a left-sided centre-back, and that's what concerns me about the weekend. I don't want to be feeling like that, but we have to be realistic here. I would call out things for what they are, and he's got an opportunity here to change it, to prove to us that, he's not just, he doesn't have favoritism. He will change it if he needs be. After what Bruno Fernandes done after the game, I wouldn't play him. I wouldn't even put him in the squad. It's that deep for me. Because when you're talking about a young player like Lenny Yoro, I mean, regardless what people think of Lenny Yoro, I think Lenny Yoro has been one of our best players over the last year. Regardless what we see, I mean, you do not, even if he was talking about any other player, if he's talking about Casemiro, talking about anyone, but in particular, a young player, if it, in regards to that, I mean, it shouldn't be accepted. And I think that it sends a bad message to the team if he plays. I really do, that you can get away with anything. Look, Garnacho did the same thing. Roy Keane got sacked, and Roy Keane was a winner. Yap Stam got moved on, madness, isn't it? RJ, Mount needs to be sold too. Absolutely. Good afternoon, Lawrence. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Don't know if he's ever picking Mainu alongside Casemiro, so that's interesting. I mean, I don't know, but I would say, Lawrence, that I wouldn't mind Mainu. I wouldn't mind Casemiro or Ugarte in that position. I wouldn't mind that. I just want Mainu in that middle alongside Ugarte or Casemiro, one of those two. It was a bit of a toss-up between the two. So I would go for Casemiro simply the fact that Ugarte wasn't brilliant against Man City, and that's about it. So look, this goes to show you how weak our midfield is, isn't it? It goes to show you how slim pickings that we have in that midfield. And not only about slim pickings, it's about how slow our midfield is. It is very slow. We really do need to fix that midfield. And hopefully we can do something in January. Hopefully we can get a Ruben Neves in just as a stopgap. Do you know what I mean? Because this midfield is not going to get Man United very far, in my opinion. We do need a lot more pace in there. As we know of all other Premier League teams these days, they're very athletic. They're very quick. And this is the problem that we're having. This is why we struggle a lot of the times, But I think the most important thing for Man United is to have a balance in there. If we ain't got the pace, we at least need to have the balance in there, the balance of the team. What is Mount's injury? I'm not too sure, to be honest, but I know that he's got a problem with his pelvis. So obviously that is a big problem because that has knock-on effects, of course. Mount is a good player. He's all right. He's a right player, not a Man United player for me. Not a Man United player. Good player, not a Man United player. Sal, how the leaks are not stopped until no, it's concerning. Now, obviously, we have had more leaks coming out. Again, Man United are like a leaking sink. That's what we do. That if we're good at anything, it is leaks. Now, what we have to narrow it down to is that where are these leaks coming from? Who are they coming from? And I would say, obviously, it's the players that have been there for a few years. So who is that? Now, this could be Bruno. This could be Luke Shaw. This could be Maguire. I don't think it's Maguire, but it could be Maguire. It could be one of those players right there. It could be Kobe Mainoo, but Kobe Mainoo, I don't think so. I'm looking at the way that Bruno Fernandes has been speaking in the media, and I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking that was it Bruno Fernandes who's been linking all this stuff? Was it him? Is it Luke Shaw? I mean, you got to look at who's been there for a number of years and who are our most, who's been there the longest right now? It is Bruno and it is Luke Shaw, isn't it? Right now, who's currently at the football club right now. Sanjay, good afternoon. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Grayo, Bruno should be sacked and sold. He's an absolute disgrace and so-called captain. He's a bloody liability and needs to go. Grayo, you know what? Last season, and we were talking about this at the end of last season. We were talking about how Bruno, we were backing Bruno, to be fair. We were backing him, and you know what? He done some good things for us, and we will always say that. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, and he has done good things for us. But, we're becoming too reliant on Bruno, and Bruno can't take it upon himself to do whatever he wants at this football club. We have to have the same energy that we had with Garnacho and Sancho with Bruno. I know that Bruno's done better. I know that he's been a fabulous player for Man United he's probably been Man United's best signing. But it's over now. It's ended. And he needs to go because this toxicity can't carry on. Let me just welcome the new member. Big up, Joe. Thank you so much for coming a member, my friend. Really appreciate you. Welcome to the family, my friend. Thank you so much for becoming a member. And I've got some great content coming for the members, guys. Really great content. Interviews, a lot coming, guys. I'm just working on it at the moment. Thank you for coming a member, Joe. Welcome, my friend. Kenny, Luke Shaw should never be starting games. Never again. Never again, Kenny. He's finished. He's done. Kaput. He's done. He's over here. Guys, I watched the replay of Luke Shaw's injury back in 2015 when we played PSV away, and I saw the injury, and I was thinking, you know what about that injury? It was a terrible injury, but it has been many years since that injury, right? Luke Shaw, before he had that injury, was probably one of the best left backs in England, right? In Europe, one of them. And what I would say is that that's over. And now what the problem with Man United is that we hang on and we latch on to players too long. We keep them too long at the football club. They need to leave the football club. When it's time for them to leave, we don't get rid of them. We just hug on to them and we keep them. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Bruno shouldn't be sold. He is our source of goals and assists. No, he's not. He's not. He's definitely not. He's a source of goals and assists, but he costs the team goals. He costs the team wins. If you understand football, Rastasy, right? I know you're young, but if you understand football, just because a player has good goals and assists doesn't mean they're good for the football team. Let me tell you that right now. Just like when Liverpool removed Coutinho from their team, they became a better football team. The word team here, with Bruno, we're not a team. Bruno should not be on that pitch. He shouldn't have been on that pitch after he kicked that penalty over the bar against Fulham when he got intimidated by a referee, right? He should not be playing for Man United, in my opinion, anymore. If people think he should be sold, you need to go somewhere else, because this is not he is 31 years old and we're latching onto him. Do you know who I've seen in my life? Players I've seen in my life. You know what I mean? Bruno, not even in the top 10. Not top 50. I would love Ruben Neves and Baleba. I would love that as well. I hope Bruno gets dropped. I do as well. Absolutely. RJ, that's final. Bruno was a disgrace at the final, giving away the ball away in the final, giving away the corner against Arsenal, giving away the ball against Fulham, missing the penalty against Fulham, giving away the ball against Burnley, it cost us a goal as well, and obviously the game against Man City where he didn't track his man. I mean, what are we on about here? What are we doing here? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, Holland was so bad. Yeah, well, yeah. I feel sorry for him a little bit. Sal, do you think if we strip Bruno of the captaincy, he will still perform? I think he'll perform better. I really do. I think since that Bruno got the captaincy, I don't know how you feel about this, Graham, but I think as soon as he got the captaincy, I think since then his performances have been going down. I think he puts too much pressure on himself in a way that he feels like he has to do everything. This is why on his heat map, you can see him all around the pitch. And that's great. He's all around the pitch. He works hard. But what we have to understand is that he's leaving the midfield isolated. He's leaving his position. He's becoming ill-disciplined. And the likes of Ugarte and Casemiro or Mainu are being left on their own. And this is what it is, you know. And he needs to be disciplined in that position. Now, I can forgive a lot of things. I can forgive performances on the pitch. I know that we're in a bad way. You know, I was even going to say play him up at number 10. But I don't accept throwing players under the bus. I don't, especially the likes of Lenny Yoro, who for me has been brilliant at Man United, you know? No, Fan Bruno is an attacking midfielder. We would dominate. No, we wouldn't. No, we wouldn't, mate. You know nothing, bud. No, we wouldn't. Imagine Bruno playing in front of an elite midfielders, Amadou, Onana, and Wharton together, mate. He's 31. I mean, we need to forget about Bruno. This is not Player FC, guys. It's not Player FC. This is Manchester United FC. Do you know what a real attacking midfielder is? Should I bring you into Cristiano Ronaldo and Paul Scholes and people like that? Man, this guy is petulant. If we cannot discipline a guy who's been called out Lenny Yoro in the public, on the media, you don't know what this club means. You don't know what this club means. Honestly, I'll be real. Bruno talk is too much. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sal, I couldn't see Bruno against Villarreal. I ain't seen him against any big finals like that. No, the only time I remember Bruno, is Man City. Is the Man City final in the FA Cup. You know, absolutely. Ephraim, Sal, do you do watch along today? Probably not, Ephraim. Probably not. I'm not going to be doing it. I've got too much to do at the moment, but I will be doing more watch alongs as the coming weeks come on. Of course, absolutely. Bruno must be sold in January. I mean, look, it's not all about talent as well. It's about implementation of your attitude, you know. And if you've got a bad attitude at this football club, we don't want that attitude at this football club. No way, we don't want that other attitude at this football club. Enough is enough with that. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. And I don't know how anyone could defend this. He's been poor this season. It's cost us 3 goals. Sal, we need to move on from Bruno. We are too relying on Bruno. I mean, in my opinion, I think you can't move on until you've moved on. You have to move on from things. And even though he's a favourite, Alex Ferguson would have moved on. You know, Alex Ferguson would have moved on from that. You know, and even if he is a fan favourite, it doesn't really matter. You know, he needs to take accountability for his own actions. He's cost us 3 goals this season. he got intimidated by the referee, giving him a little nudge. You think Roy Keane would do that? Even Ruud van Nistelrooy, Andy Cole, any of these players, do you think they'll get upset by a little nudge from the referee? Do you know what those players would have done? Those players would have waited till later on in the game and gave the referee a nudge back and said, "Oh, sorry, it's an accident. I wasn't looking where I was going." That's what they would have done. Huncho, do you think we need a left wing ASAP? If Cunha plays Cam, we can change the system. The problem is, Huncho, I don't think there's any point in changing the system because I don't think he's going to change the system. And we played a 4-3-3 for 12 years, and what has happened? Can answer the question, right? Just answer it plainly and simple. We played a 4-3-3 for 12 years, and what happened? How many sacks? How many people? You know, nothing to do with the system. Nothing to do with it. And I would argue that with anyone. It's nothing to do with that. Man City play it. During the game, they revert to a three at the back. You know, Glasner plays it. Conte won a league with it. You know, what happened to Bruno, man, has always been this bad. No, but I think he thinks too highly of himself now, especially after that game. A good captain must be very aggressive. Absolutely. We got muddied playing 4-3-3. Absolutely. Absolutely. Talking about the system is a low IQ of football. You know? Absolutely. Kenny, and what formations did they play? Loads of managers played 4-2-3-1, including Erik ten Hag for a period, and it didn't work. You got the same players. It's not going to work. System ain't the thing. System ain't the thing, guys. The problem is not the system, says Ephraim. If they are good enough, if they can play in any system. Absolutely. RJ, yeah. Where was the system in the 7-0 against Liverpool? One of our worst defeats, probably the worst defeat in our history. Where was it? It's these players are the problem. The players here are the problem. Your Brunos and that who wanted to come off the pitch against Liverpool, by the way. You know, these are the players that are the problem at Man United. You know? Grayo, as soon as Bruno had his new contract with ridiculous wages, then as far as I'm concerned, he lost interest and that film went. Exactly, Grayo. This is why we were screaming for Bruno to be sold in the summer. We said he should have been sold. He should have went to Saudi Arabia. You know? He should have went to Saudi Arabia. Now, look, in regards to systems, in regards to anything like that, you can like a system. That's absolutely fine. You're entitled to that, you know, at the end of the day. Guys, you mean playing 5 at the back and not building a real midfield combination like that 4 at the back and have a proper 3 midfield? The one that lost 7-0 to Liverpool? The one that sacked 8 managers? Do you think that's the right way to go forward with the same players? Mainu, Casemiro and Bruno? You think that's going to take us forward? Do you really think that? It's not going to do anything for Man United. Systems don't mean nothing. You know? They don't mean nothing. You actually think that is going to change Man United. And regardless of what you think about system, he's not going to change it. You know, system is just like a stick to beat someone with. These players are down tooling, you know, and that's what we need to understand before we talk about systems. Bruno, and he doesn't play 5 at the back. It's just that these players don't have the IQ to go forward. He needed a right wing back like a Vanderson or something like that, a Frimpong. He needed one of those type of players to bring the ball forward. We don't have the players, you know. Bruno was begging to be subbed off, absolutely. Swap Neil, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. This team on paper is the strongest than other teams except the traditional top 4. We should do better. I really don't know what's going on. You know what's going on, Swap Neil? You know what's going on. Players. We've been here before. We've been here before, mate. 9 of those players played in the Europa League final. 9. I mean, how are we expecting anything different from players that have flattered to deceive over the years? You know? Rebuild should have meant a rebuild, not buy 3 players and a couple of youngsters and that's it. It's over. A rebuild should have meant a rebuild. You know, there was no point bringing in Ruben Amorim if he's not going to, you know, if they're not going to back him in his system. You know, Arasta say, I right wing back during the Premier League summer series or summer. I saw the system work. We absolutely dominated. I don't know if that was the Bournemouth game. Yeah. The system works. You don't dominate games again in the friendlies and against Arsenal, right? You don't dominate games if the system doesn't work. You know, you don't dominate games. You know, you don't do that at the end of the day. You don't dominate games if the system doesn't work. The system either works or it doesn't. And we have dominated a couple of games against Arsenal. You know, we dominated that game. And we've seen it work when we had Mantato at the back. I mean, guess what we played? Ugarte and Mainu in the midfield. You know? At the end of the day, big up Coutinho. Fans, I hope you're doing well. Fans are just waiting for a change in the dugout and expecting Amram to get 7 points from 9 must be a joke. Drop Bruno and watch the Grimsby performance repeat. The Grimsby performance I don't take into account because it's a Mickey Mouse trophy. And when we win the Mickey Mouse trophy, we get criticized for celebrating it. Now, let me tell you something what happened against Grimsby. A little man called Andre Onana happened against Grimsby. 2 goals were given away. Man United would have won comfortably. And that's what, and that is the fine margins that we're talking about, guys. Absolutely. Ephraim, Sal, we can move forward if some of our fans have, but they don't have patience, mate. That's the thing. It's the board as well. Hancho, if we have bring in Baleba and with him and a Mainu and Cunha, if we transform the midfield and the team, please. I mean, you know what we need? We do need new midfielders, Hancho. That's one thing that is our problem. Without the midfield, we don't have a team. We don't have a team. So they haven't concentrated on the midfield. They haven't bought through the midfield. Sal, how can we move forward if some of our fans have no patience? Absolutely. Hey, big up, Benny. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Bruno not disciplined enough for the team. He has to leave us wide open every week. And people don't understand that. They just look at stats. It's stat padding. That's what they look at. They just look at numbers and stats. What it is, sometimes your most potent player, for example, stats and goals, if you remove them for the team, right? If you remove them from the team, basically the whole team improves as a team. Because what is the overriding problem at the moment? That Man United are not a team. We're not a team at the moment. That's the thing. Good afternoon, Saviour. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good afternoon, sir. Good to see you. The problem of Bruno, he complained a lot of the players and to the referee and the system. Amram should play Heaven on the shore, Mainu and Bruno and Mazraoui on Ahmed Sia. Good football. Big up. I hope you like my lineup, Saviour. I did drop Bruno, though, at the end of the day. I did drop him. Joe, I would like to see some academy players possibly starting at the weekend, but it won't happen. It won't happen. I mean, I've been talking about Mantato for a very long time. Should play on that right-hand side, the right wing backs. He can play there. I like Shea Alesi. There's a number of players that, look, you don't even have to start them from the start. You can bring them on from the bench. You know what I mean? Just bring them on from the bench and slowly bed them into the team. And that's how we should have done. Alex Ferguson done that, of course, famously. You know, we just need to slowly bed them into the team. And then obviously they'll get more experience and stuff, you know? 67. What's 67, my friend? Look at Xabi Alonso treats Vinny. He subs him. Amram should do the same. This is the thing about Manchester United and Manchester United fans, to be honest with you. We get too attached to players. Look at what Real Madrid do. Look at what Barcelona do. Even if these guys are legends, they say, right, you're off the pitch now. That's it. You know what I mean? Bench Bruno, says RJ. I agree. I think he should be benched. That's my opinion, of course. But I respect everyone's opinion, but I would bench him just plainly because of the fact what he said about Lenny Yoro. I felt was out of order. I remember that wild cross on Bruno against Real Sociedad in the Champions League. I mean, look, you know, I'll give you an example, right? We were playing Lyon last year. And you remember the Lyon game when we won, was it 5-4? And there was a ball from Casemiro. This ball went flump on Maguire's head, and it was a goal for Maguire. Maguire won the game. If that was Bruno, it would have went somewhere else. And you know what? Who knows what would have happened? The system will work when the coach starts playing players in their position, and that is what I'm talking about, intelligent opinion. This is what I'm talking about. Because the system works, it's just that Ruben Amorim needs to play those players in the correct position. If he's going to play Bruno Fernandes needs to play a number 10. Kobe Mainu needs to play in the centre of midfield alongside Ugarte or Casemiro. That is what Man United should be doing. No brainer. We dominate games with midfield, not with the new word system that we knew it from stubborn head coach. We dominate games already, mate. We had more possession against Arsenal. We can't put the ball in the back of the net, and that's not system. We did that against Erik ten Hag. For me, I would start Bruno. If he does badly, get him off. Okay, I appreciate your opinion, Arastasi. Sal, some of us fans are celebrating our low wage bill like winning the league. Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. Yeah, we spent less than Arsenal. Hey, we spent less than Arsenal. Our profits are more. Oh, great. That's a great midfielder, that is. That's belabor, that is. Yeah, of course. You know what I mean? This is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about, where our head is. We're not accountants. We're not accountants. We need to... Look, guys, it makes... I agree. And I watched Mark Goldbridge earlier on, and I saw what he said, and he's absolutely spot on. What we are as a fan base, are we football guys? Are we football? Are we accountants? You know, what are we doing here? Do you know what I mean? What are we trying to do here? We're football fans, or we're accountants, you know? Absolutely. We do need to save us from insanity. Futures made of virtual insanity, as Jamiroquai once said, of course. Ellen, I know Ellen's she loves Mount. Mount, Dalot, and Konya injured. Squad looks thin with Bruno on the bench. Still, I would start with Bruno on the bench just because of his interview. I would start Xerxes, Ellen. I think Xerxes deserves an opportunity, don't you think? I think he deserves an opportunity. But you're absolutely spot on, Ellen. You're absolutely right. How can we just let a player get away with that? What message does that send to the rest of the team? When the likes of Garnacho are getting kicked out of the football club, we've got exactly the same thing. Not even that bad. He was talking about himself. He wasn't talking about Lenny Yoro and other players. He was talking about himself. Bruno Fernandes has been speaking about other players, about Lenny Yoro. Now, Lenny Yoro is wanted by Real Madrid to this minute. He's wanted by Real Madrid. Real Madrid still want Lenny Yoro. And I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up going to Real Madrid eventually. Good morning, good evening, William. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Hello, Sal. Watched Liverpool game last night. We are way off it. We are. We're way off it, mate. We're nowhere near any of these teams. Look, you know, we should be near those teams, but we're not. We're not. And the reason is because we keep repeating the same thing. We got the same players playing for us, the same players that are just not good enough. No, and we need to move on from that. We need what we should have done. What the board should have done. They should have got Ruben Amorim. They should have brought him into a room, and they should have said to Ruben Amorim, right, Ruben, what do you need to succeed? What do you need? And Ruben Amorim would have told them, you know. And what they've done, they've gone great. They fixed the tack. Great. But with these profits that are coming out in the media, all this money thing coming out in the media, the fiscal year and all this malarkey, you know, what does that tell me? It makes me feel like, you know, I've been cheated because we didn't get a midfielder. You know, I want them to spend money on this football team, and I want Ruben Amorim to have the best opportunity as possible. And this is why I said, guys, before the season started, this is why I said that Ruben Amorim should walk. He should go if they do not back him. And what do you actually think he's been backed? He hasn't, has he? God bless you too, Aristasi. God bless you, my friend. We have a weak squad against a whole squad. I mean, we have a continent. Yeah, absolutely, Ellen. We're playing a whole continent. Yeah, we're playing the whole bloody Premier League. They probably make up 90% of the players in the Premier League. Bloody hell, they got so many players. Can you believe this? Right, they were talking about injuries. They were actually got the audacity to be talking about injuries. Can't believe what I was hearing. Ephraim, so it will be horrific if Liverpool win the league at Old Trafford. It would be horrific, mate. Yeah, it would be horrific. And you know what I would say about every adversity, guys? And we've been through quite a bit of adversity over the last 13 years since Alex Ferguson left, right? I watched and witnessed Alex Ferguson knocking Liverpool off their perch, all right? And what I would say is this, right? I never thought that we would be in this position. Unfortunately, it is what it is. And what we need to do, whatever happens, we can't prevent it. Us fans, we can't stop it. But what we need to do is the players need to take this, and I don't know why they're not doing it anyway after Man City won the treble. They need to take this adversity and use it to their advantage. That's what they need to do. You know what I mean? But I don't think they're gonna. I mean, they don't use it. They don't think like that, like we do. You know, like we used to. Continent meaning they got so many players around us to see, guys. Sir, your lineup was very good, and if a coach used that lineup. Where are we going to win on Saturday 2-0? Thank you, Xavier. Thank you. I think we will win on Saturday. I really do think we'll win on Saturday. I've got a feeling we will. And you know what? Well, it is. I think we need to win. We need to win. Absolutely. The system works. Not 2 wins in a row yet after 38. Well, then you need to look at the players. That's it. The players went out of Grimsby. The players didn't need a system to beat Grimsby. Glasner can play that system. Conte won a league with that system. Brazil play that system. You know, should we go on? Xabi Alonso won Leverkusen their first ever title in many, many years, 20 years with that system. You know, should we go on? Barcelona played that system. The great Johan Cruyff played that system. You know, it's nothing to do with the system. It's nothing to do with the system. It's to do with these players who do not want to play that system. That's why they're not winning 2 in a row. We've been here before. We've been down this route before. Going home in the dark. You know, on Tuesday, don't go in a home in the dark. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The tactics are like teachers, schoolboy tactics. We remember that, don't we? Ralph Ragnick is too strict and he's a professor and I don't like his tactics. Right? Remember that, don't we? Even under Louis van Gaal. So what is the overriding thing here? What has been happening over 12 years? Okay? So let's take out Ruben Amorim from this situation completely and let's forget about the system. Now, tell me, what system were we playing for the last 12 years? Answer that question in one. What system were we playing in the last 12 years? And how many sackings have there been? I know what I want, Yorkshire Cowboy. I know what I want. I know that I'm not a fan of 3 at the back. I know. But that is not the reason we haven't won 2 in a row. You can think it is because that is your narrative and you're thinking that I know this. It's definitely the system. It's definitely, but it's not. I study football. I've got my badges, right? And it's not the system. You know what I mean? What you need to understand is that these players, Casemiro, Mainu, Bruno Fernandes, Dorgu, Dalot, De Ligt, these are not Ruben Amorim players. 9 of the players playing the Europa League final were not his players. When we were playing under Eric Ten Hag, we were minus goal difference, you know? They have 1 million players. That's why I said continent. Absolutely. Absolutely. Chanino, what will be sad or funny will be our new manager using the squad and diversing a way to empower that midfield. A good manager will make that midfield look elite. Our squad is a top 4 team. It is not. It's not a top 4 team. It's not. They are slow, pedestrian. Ugarte, Bruno, Mainu are slow. They're not a top 4 team. Every single one. Newcastle, Tottenham, Chelsea, Manchester City, Arsenal, 5 teams already have got a better midfield than us. 5. Right? Bring up those midfields and I'll tell you, you'll show you. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Guys. Can't wait to start blaming something ourselves. We have been blamed the system for years. Blame it on the freaking Calvar. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely, Ellen. And people just want to, they think, saying that these players can get top 4, right? The only ones I trust in that team are Lenny Yoro, Aiden Heaven, Mbeumo, Cunha, Sesko because he's new. That's probably it. That's probably it. Senny Lamens because he's new as well. 6 players? They're the only ones that I have a belief in and I trust at the moment. Big up, Sal. Big up, LT. How you doing, my friend? Your team sheet, but issue is that we know Bruno will play. And if he does, should he play in number 10? If he feels Heaven ain't ready, then play Mazraoui right centre back or Euro left centre back. I agree, LT. I'm sort of hoping wishfully that he doesn't play, but I do believe he'll play. And if he does play, I want to see him in the number 10. I don't want to see him in that midfield. Absolutely not. I think we need to move away from this Bruno midfield obsession. We need to move away from that. That's going to get Ruben Amorim the sack. That is. Because that's what the biggest problem is at the moment. Absolutely. I blame Pogba. Yeah, dancing. I blame dancing at the end of the day. Yorkshire Cowboy, you don't need to repeat the stats here. Right? You're falling into the same trap that everyone's falling into every single time. That's it. You know? It's a low ball IQ. Number 1, and I respect you. And you're bringing in, we only won this game. We only won this many games. At the end of the day, why don't we look at those players that have only won that many games? You know, at the end of the day. You hate saying this, but you need to support the manager. This is where we need to stop it. Stop it, Yorkshire Cowboy. Think. Listen what's going on in this last few years. Think what's going on. It takes one bad apple to disrupt the apple bowl, to make the apple bowl go bad. I respect your decision, and I know you want a different formation. You repeat it 1,000 times, mate. It's not going to make me change. because I know these players. I've been in football. I've worked at League One level. I know that system. It doesn't really make a difference. Pep Guardiola plays that system. He transitions into that system during the game. You know, it's nothing to do with that. These players are down tooling. These players are throwing people under the bus, Yorkshire Cowboy. Our captain has thrown Lenny Euro under the bus, you know? This season will be another heartbreaking season. Let's hope. We only can hope. It's a must win. That's 4 for sure, pal. Absolutely, Joe. Absolutely. Guys, players don't need systems against Grimsby because Grimsby don't have a system. I've been in League One football. Those players are accountable. Did Ruben Amram, was it because of the system that Onana couldn't catch a football in that game? Was it because of the system that he couldn't catch a football? Was it a system that he couldn't save 15 penalties, even though he got his hand to about 7 of them? Is that the system? Mark was spot on about the fact that 3 months ago he said if Amarim wasn't fully back, then we shouldn't expect miracles. But after a few games, the losses come of doing it's Amarim out. It's the system. Mark LT, exactly. We are our own worst enemies as fans. We are the worst enemies as fans. Straight away, these players know that, you know what, I'm not feeling this manager. Let's get this manager out the door. Let's start, you know what? Let's start throwing him under the bus. Again, here we go again. It's his definition of insanity. That is what the definition of insanity is. Keep blaming the manager, rinse and repeat. Now, I'm not sitting here defending Ruben Amram with all my heart and might. He is accountable for something, i.e. the Bruno situation. Bruno should be a number 10, not number 8 and stuff, and maybe Luke Shaw shouldn't play there anymore. And that's what I would say. Those are the 2 things I blame him for. But don't come on here, right, and talk about systems and talk about this is wrong, that is wrong, this is wrong, because I honestly think, and I mean this with all the biggest respect in the world, it makes me dumb down. Because I've been in football 40 years. I've actually trained and coached it. I have my badges. You know, so I look at it and I'm thinking, so the same players who couldn't play a 4-3-3, a 4-2-3-1 over 12, 13 years are the same players who can't play this system. Now, how comes Sporting Lisbon can play that system? How comes Bayer Leverkusen can play that system? How comes Glasnow's Crystal Palace can play that system? You know, and this is what I'm talking about. And this is why I want to end it with the system thing. Right? I want to end it with the system thing. And what needs to happen is that Ruben Amram needs to pick the right team. System, and I think Xavier said it earlier, it's not all about the system. It's about the players in the system. And it's about the tactics that he implements in regards to the players who play in those positions. So basically, Bruno should be number 10. Mainey should be number 8. I respect everyone's opinion, absolutely. But it's not to say that I agree with it. You know, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with that. I don't trust these players. Ultimately, my overriding thing is I don't trust these players. You know, the defense would be good if Luke Shaw wasn't there. I agree. Amram's biggest mistake is putting players in positions they don't even play. That is his biggest mistake. Yep. It's not the system and it's not the manager. We have played different systems under 8 and other managers after Fergie. It isn't system and most definitely isn't the manager. And that's it. That's what it is, Ellen. I'm tired of getting player excuses. I'm tired of these excuses. I really am. I'm tired of the players getting a free ride again. I'm tired of Player FC. I'm tired of it. I'm fed up with it, you know? Sal is boring hearing about system anyways. It is. It is very boring. We have the most promising manager in Europe. The manager who wanted by Real Madrid. Now, guys, I want to ask you this question. I've asked this question before. If Ruben Amram was the manager of Real Madrid, if Ruben Amram was the manager of Liverpool, right, which he was linked to, by the way, do you think he would be this bad? Do you think the results would be like this? You know it's not. You know he'd be killing it right now. You know he'd be winning games. You know he would be. You know, there's a cultural football. I mean, as well as players and systems, there's a cultural problem at this football club. A cultural problem, a mentality problem at this football club. You know, there's a mentality problem at this football club. Blame it on the boogie. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Blame it on the boogie. I blame it on the boogie. Absolutely. Think some Man United fans forget Jose used a back five or a back three when he plays thrown under the bus, when the players threw them under the bus. Yeah. Didn't Jose Mourinho use that as well in his early days as well? What I would say is that I'm tired of player excuses, Joe. I'm tired of player excuses. Look, I'm not sitting here and saying that Ruben Amorim shouldn't be sacked. He's invincible. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that there are extremes, right? And I said it this morning about extremes opinions. There's Ruben Amorim in, Ruben Amorim out. And those who are talking about systems are Ruben Amorim out, right? So there's Ruben Amorim in and Ruben Amorim out. So no matter what you say to defend anything, if you're Ruben Amorim out, they're going to be Ruben Amorim out and they won't change it. If you're Ruben Amorim in, they won't change it to Ruben Amorim in. Me, I'm in the middle. I'm Manchester United in. And this is what I said about this morning. And I spoke about in depth this morning. You know, and like I said about walking in the straight line, one-dimensional, walking in the straight line, not looking left, not looking right, what's coming on the right and the left. And that's what's going on. I like to think things for myself, and I like to make my own decisions, absolutely. Please, everyone, smash the likes. Thank you so much, Grayo. Thank you, mate. Big up my friend, my brother. Ephraim, big up Stephanie, absolutely. So where will we be without Bruno FC? Goodness me, RJ. I don't see progress there. I'm not saying sack him. I'm saying adapt or die. It's obvious during the games. We're going to adapt and it won't work. This is the thing. It's the thing. This is the thing. Yorkshire Cowboy, this is the thing. It's not going to work. These players are throwing him under the bus. No matter what manager you bring in, we'll bring in any manager you want to bring in. These players are playing him under the bus. What's the plan here? What do we do when players are throwing him under the... And I know they're throwing him under the bus because I've looked at their XGs and their stats and stuff over the last few weeks. They're throwing him under the bus, just like they threw Eric Ten Hag under the bus, just like when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer went on a record run, right? And then suddenly when he gets his new contract, we get slapped up by Everton. The same thing. It's the same thing. It's nothing to do with adapt. It's nothing to do with tactics. This thing is the buzzword what's going around the industry. Now, I'm saying this, right? At the end of the day, all I care about, Cowboy, is Chelsea Saturday. If we lose that game, Yorkshire Cowboy, we're going to have to start thinking about moving him on. At the end of the day, I don't think that systems are defined with results. I don't. Because I've seen Alex Ferguson throw 11 players up front. You know what I mean? So I don't think systems are defined with results. I don't. And I would argue that with anyone being in football. I don't just watch football on TV. I've worked with professionals, right? Players. And this is not me being arrogant and that. I'm talking humbly. I'm doing it over here in the UAE with a youth team. So I'm here. And what I would say is that I respect your opinion, Yorkshire Cowboy. You think that will work. There's nothing I can do for you. I can't say nothing about it. All right? I can't say nothing. He's not going to change his system. And anyway, this is what it is. And these players are not going to play for his system. So we're on the road to nowhere anyway. Big up Yorkshire Cowboy. We got the worst midfield in the Premier League. Whenever our midfield gets the ball, the opposition team cheers as they have gotten the ball back. Absolutely. Seems like every manager, besides Mourinho, trusts Shaw. He must have some type of underbelly clause in his play to play. I don't trust. Big up Gabriel Martinelli. Big up. You're an Arsenal fan. You're not an Arsenal fan, are you? You're here before, weren't you, bro? Look, what I would say is that I don't trust Luke Shaw. I've never have trusted Luke Shaw. I'm tired of Luke Shaw. You know what I mean? I don't know why he's still in the team. And that's where I criticize Ruben Amorim. And obviously, there's two things I criticize Ruben Amorim for. One is obviously Luke Shaw. Another one is Bruno Fernandes in the midfield. If he changes that, that might change the whole dynamic. You never know. I think Bruno is holding the team back. I agree. Good player, but he's an individual and not a captain. Real captains lead men, not throw them under the bus for his mistake. Exactly. And this is what we're talking about. It's a tactical change. Player should either drop Bruno or play Bruno in that number 10 position. That's what we need to do. That is the problem, not system. That is the problem. Where Bruno is playing right now, that is the problem. He needs to play number 10. Mainly needs to play for number 8 and keep that for a few games. That's what I would say. Grayo, we should have sold. Bruno Fernandes so we could have bought Baleba or Wharton, but we are stuck with the bloody dinosaur. I'm so angry at the moment seeing us starting every bloody game. Obviously he is to blame. Yeah. And I'd be interested to know what happens on Saturday, Grayo. What goes on with the formation and everything like that. I'd be very interested to know. You know. Over-reliance on Bruno, I agree with that, Yorkshire Cowboy. And this is where I criticize Ruben Amorim. This is where he shouldn't be playing Bruno. There is Bruno fan club. There's a Bruno fan club, for crying out loud. Do you know what I mean? So why do you think, big up Yorkshire Cowboy. Grayo, why do you think that Ugarte hasn't come anywhere near the form he was in before we bought him? One word, Bruno. Now, Bruno is ill-disciplined in his position. Bruno will go from left back to right back to defense, even to the goal. And basically leaving the sole midfielder isolated. So when the sole midfielder is isolated, the opposition team know what they're doing. They're like, perfect. They'll form a triangle around either Mainu, Ugarte, or Casemiro. They'll form a triangle around them. So they go, that, and they bypass the midfield. Now, how does it help when Bruno is in that left-back position, hitting hero balls all the way up? So Bruno will be in that left-back or right-back position. Our midfield will have been bypassed, and we're going to be left outnumbered. That's why Ugarte struggles. Ugarte's never seen anything like it. Why do you think? When Ugarte plays for Uruguay, that he does so well. You know? It's bad, isn't it? You're right. It's not the system. It's a problem with the problem is the players we have. Absolutely, Saviour. Absolutely. We have bought Baleba without selling Bruno. We aren't broke. It was a lie from Jim Ratcliffe. Absolutely, Ellen. And people were arguing with me on this stream about, you know what, we got no money. What, you're unrealistic. You're delusional. We got no money. And I told these people that we got money. Don't worry, we got money. And I said we got a hidden stash of money. Don't worry about that. And people were arguing with me, saying that even though I knew we got money, people were arguing with me, saying we got no money. Stop being delusional. We got no money. We have to cutbacks. You imagine this, right? We made record profits and we sacked all those people. You know? Thank you, Yusha. Look, Cowboy, it's not about in or out. For me, he loses on Saturday. I'm going to be very disappointed. And ultimately, it's a results game, bro. It's a results game. And I don't want him to get sacked. And the reason I don't, because I don't want to sack another manager. I really don't. I'm fed up with it. You know, but results game. You know, and if he loses 3 out of 3, you know, we're going to have to start, isn't it? But I'm not going to call out sack Ruben Amorim, and that's not what I'm going to do because I just don't think we're going to get anything with a new manager. I don't even rate the pool of managers out there at the moment. I really don't. I mean, the only manager that I would look for is like Ancelotti or something. They're at Brazil now. He's at Brazil now. Jurgen Klopp used to manage Liverpool. You know, it's no one else, so we might as well stick to our man. Big up your Cowboy, though. I appreciate your opinions. I appreciate you, bro. And thank you for your comments and everything. The Eric Ten Hag pylon was a gradual, but reached a crescendo in season 3. Amorim's pylon is unique and it's screwed to turn quickly in more weeks. Managers never recover or turn it around. And do you think that's right that Amorim gets absolutely pulverized after 9 months, 8 months? Do you think that's right? We're our own worst enemy, mate. This is why Man United don't progress. You know, LT. Bruno, and look, let's not forget, Eric Ten Hag won a bloody FA Cup and came 3rd in League Cup, you know, and people are still on him. LT, Bruno, Shaw, Maguire, Dalot, and Ahmad have sacked 2 or more managers, and they are the so-called leaders, and that is what is wrong. The same criminals are the cause of the weak mentality and culture. It goes no further, LT, than those players you've mentioned. They are part of the bomb squad. Unfortunately, the bomb squad is bigger than we thought it was. And I think those players are a big part of it. There's evidence there to suggest that. The way that Bruno's been talking in the media, there's your evidence. Do you know what I mean? I mean, throwing players under the bus, there's your evidence, you know? Look, guys, I would love to sit here and be wrong 1,000 times out of 1,000 if it meant Man United winning something, and winning the league. I don't care about my opinion. I don't care about it. All I care about, I'm frustrated, I'm angry, and I want Man United to win trophies. But I'm not going to go down that road again because I knew this would happen. Everything I foresaw, I'm not even bloody, people call me Mystic Meg, call me David Blaine. I just foresaw this happening when Ruben Amorim first signed that contract for Man United in January. I was like, you know what? I hope he does. He's a nice guy. I hope he really succeeds at this football club. But unfortunately, here we are. Here we are. And do what they like. Speaking of managers, who are we linked to? Michael Carrick and Gareth Southgate. Gareth Southgate, who had a golden generation of players, who played a Euros final at Wembley Stadium against an aging Italy team. And he couldn't get it over the line. Gareth Southgate. Wow. And Michael Carrick. So this is what we really want, isn't it? Let's just get those players. And let's not forget, what did Gareth Southgate play in England's 2-1 win against Holland in the Euros? What formation? 3-4-2-1. And who was in that formation? Kobe Mainoo was in that formation. England won 2-1. So, Gareth Southgate will probably do the same anyway. If we bring Gareth Southgate in, he'll probably do the same formation. At the end of the day. Guys. I prefer 4-4-2, Yorkshire Cowboy. That's what I prefer. I want Man United to play with wingers. That's what I want, Yorkshire Cowboy. I want Man United to play with wingers, 2 up front, 4-4-2 or 4-4-1-1. That's what I want. It's never going to happen, though, is it? Pep Guardiola's destroyed football, mate. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you, Yorkshire Cowboy. He needs to go. He needs to go. Big up Yorkshire, by the way. But we don't always have to agree, by the way. That's football. But it's much love anyway. We all want the same thing. We dream the same thing. We want the same thing. Belinda Carlisle. What did Bruno say about Ruben? He was talking about the system, 4 against 2. He's talking about the midfield, 4 against 2. He's part of that. He's the one who's been ill-disciplined and going all around the pitch and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. Honest to God, no accountability. Guys, I want to thank everyone for joining me. I really appreciate you for joining for this one. I mean, this is a match preview, but obviously it goes everywhere. What's going on with Man United at the moment. But that's my team anyway. Something similar, what I would pick, whatever. But I'll definitely put Lemens in goal. I put Lemens in goal. I would play Lady Yoro, Delict, and of course, Aiden Heaven in the centre-backs. It will be Diallo on the right because I want to be more attacking. I would play Casemiro and Mainoo in the midfield with Dorgu as a left wing back, and Xerxes, and Buemo and Sesko up front. Something around that. I mean, I think that's all right, isn't it, at the end of the day? Thank you, guys. Really appreciate you. Have a great day, great evening, wherever you are in the world. Really appreciate you. Thank you. One love, Yorkshire Cowboy. All much love, brother. Keep doing your thing. And I will see you later. We'll see you tomorrow for Breaking Dawn. No watch-alongs tonight. No, absolutely not. I'm going to have 8 people watching me. Bloody, these games, Maybe when we grow a little bit more, I'm going to be doing a lot of them. I'll be doing a lot of them. But, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Yorkshire Cowboy. Something similar. It probably won't be that, though. That's the thing. But thank you, brother. And really appreciate you. And, guys, I just hope that we're successful. And that's all I care about at the end of the day, because I'm tired. Ain't you tired? I'm definitely tired. Big up Yorkshire Cowboy. I'm off it. I'm finished. I want to win on Saturday. I want some vibes. I definitely want some vibes. Have a good day, everyone. Good evening. Good night. See you tomorrow for Breaking Dawn. Take it easy, guys. I'm Sal Warner. This is Chatterbox. Take it easy. Peace.